Breguet is typically associated with dressier timepieces that have stunning, true guilloche dials. None of that stamping nonsense. But today, for the 70th anniversary of the historic reference, we turn to a sportier side of Breguet with the new 4th generation Type 20 watches, the reference 2057 and reference 2067. The two watches share the same dimension set of 42mm in diameter and 14.1mm in thickness. They also share the same large winding crown, and each are cased in a 100-meter water-resistant stainless steel case. But where they really differ from each other is through their dial layouts, the superluminova color, and their bezel style. Breguet claims the reference 2057 is inspired by pieces commissioned by the French Air Ministry in 1954. But, in my view, it is a largely faithful revival of the historic reference 4100 used by the French Naval Air Force. Structurally, the reference 2057, while larger than the 38.3mm original, follows the same case lines and camber, as well as makes use of a knurled rotating bezel, which bears no timing scale, just a triangular pip. On its black galvanic dial, you will find the same Breguet script logo at 12, bold Arabic numerals, pencil syringe hours and minutes hands, and 2 counters, with a running seconds counter at 9 o'clock and a slightly larger 30-minute elapsed minutes counter at 3 o'clock. The differently sized counters are a visual cue of the reference 4100, but here, the reference 2057 has numerals on the elapsed minute scale, whereas the reference 4100 did not. Also, the small leaf-style hands on the counters are a deviation from the reference 4100. So, again, faithful, but not one-to-one. The reference 2067, however, is a very faithful revival of the Type 20 civilian watch, distinguished by its rotating bezel with a black inlaid 12-hour timing scale. When comparing it to a civilian reference 2988 from 1957, the black galvanic dial is nearly one-to-one to the original. With Breguet script branding, bold hour Arabics, alpha hours and minutes hands, and 3 counters that use effectively the same sub-handset, stick-leaf from left to right. In fact, the counters also match the reference 2988 from a scale perspective as well, with matching numeral and hash usage on the 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock counters and no numeral usage on the 3 o'clock counter, which, on the 2067 versus the 2057, is a 15-minute totalizer rather than a 30-minute. And of course, while we're comparing the two new references, you can see with the 2067 that we have more of an aged look to the superluminova, while on the 2057, it's a very green hue. Really, the largest visual deviation for both models are their 4:30 date windows. Modern generations of the Type 20 had a 6 o'clock date window, and the early Type 20s did not have a date complication whatsoever. It's a controversial placement for the date window these days, but at the very least, it's great to see a white on black disc that blends well into the dial. This switch up, ultimately, is due to the new calibers resting inside both watches. Inside both watches, visible beneath an exhibition caseback, are the new automatic flyback column wheel chronograph calibers 7281, found in the 2057, and 728, found in the 2067. They are both very modern calibers in form and function, with a high beat 5 Hz beat rate, anti-magnetic silicon escapement, and 60 hours of power reserve. Visually, the decoration feels more modern without the usage of traditional Côte de Genève. Instead, we have a harmonious display of sunburst patterning, snailing, beveling, circular graining, and more, with an aircraft wing-style black and gold winding rotor that does not fully obstruct the view of the movement beneath. So, nice touch. Both watches will be sold at retail for a price of 26,200 Australian dollars, and each watch comes with 2 straps, calfskin and NATO fabric, that each feature a new interchangeable strap system that will allow you to easily switch between the pair. So you have leather for on land, and the fabric NATO for more summery scenarios where you may find yourself taking a swim. Keep in mind that 100-meter depth rating. So what do you guys think of the new Type 20 watches? Or better yet, which new model do you prefer? the reference 2057 or the civilian-inspired 2067? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.